everyone. Welcome to Fearless Gray Live. How are you today? I'm so excited because I have a friend to interview today. Her name is Kari Heller, and we know each other because when I was growing up, like when I was in high school and college, we had this group of friends, and they went to different high schools. Some of we spent our summers all summer long together. We'd work really hard. The guys would play baseball. We'd go out at night. Like it was 4 summers of a lot of fun. And like 15 years later, I already ended up marrying one of those friends of mine. So that's how we know each other. I'm going to throw the ball over to Kari and let her tell you a little bit more about herself.
Awesome. So happy to be on, Jen. It's really fun to be friends with everybody I meet. I love to be friends with. So thank you for having me on. And this is really cool because we're going to just, talk like chicks. I'm Kari. I married Mike about almost 5 years ago. Together we have 7 kids, and I love telling people that. And then, as the time goes on, they start to figure out that it's a blended family, but that's okay. And then we also have a grandchild. So it's fun to sneak in that we have 7 kids and then that we have a grandchild now too. And people look at me and they're like, really? And then I just kind of go along with it, and it's really fun. I work in Madison. I work a full-time job Monday through Friday for a remodeling company. So I'm doing marketing and sales support and marketing for this company. And, it's a lot of fun.
Two things about Kari. One, I really think you and Mike have done a really nice job of having your blended family, and you're just a really close family. And there's one other interesting fact about your 7 kids. How many boys are there?
So we have 6 girls and 1 boy. And all of the girls are in their 20s. Actually, I'm sorry, I have to correct that. The oldest one is now 30. And so all the girls are the oldest. And then Jackson comes along. He's going to be 15 on Sunday. And we actually call Mike and Jackson the bookends because Mike's the oldest and Jackson the youngest. We try to do blended families as good as we can. Like anything in life, there's no manual to go by. So we just do it, and we just love and, accept it how it is and how we move forward.
I think when you say love, it seems like the key to you guys is you're just a really loving family. And so when things come up or that, you're just all about the love. And your son Jackson will be like my son Eric. I don't meet many women who have more girls, because my joke always is if you have more than 2 girls, it's like a straight pathway to heaven. And so you were on the speedway.
I'm earning the jewels in my crown. I'll put it that way.
And the other note about Kari is she's not actually a flamingo yet. She's a flamingo chick. She's under 50. And she has that wonderful family.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Kari and I are starting a really interesting and exciting adventure. We're going to start doing a podcast together. And we're going to do a podcast once a week, and it's going to be Fearless Life, and it's basically going to be about chick stuff, about a wide range of women issues, things that we deal with. And Kari, what did you want to share about what you're excited about for our podcast?
I'm really excited because I think it's really important. My biggest passion right now is women empowering women. And, so often it feels like we're on the opposite team, but we should all be on the same team. And I'm excited to be able to just talk about it. And maybe my views aren't right. Maybe my views need to be, a little bit skewered as well. So I'm going to learn from you, and we'll learn from each other, and we'll learn from everybody, all women. And I really feel like we need to kind of try and focus down on being supportive to one another and encouraging.
I think that's a really well put. I do think that women sometimes, all throughout our life when we're really young, and it doesn't, it might fade a little bit, it never goes away. Women are hard on women. Mm-hmm. And I don't really understand why we are like that. If I look at myself, the other times that I've been hard on other women, I guess there's 2 reasons maybe I would do it. That I think whatever I think I'm doing is always right, which of course there's no right way about anything in life. And other times maybe when I judge, it's because it's kind of based on an insecurity, they have something, whatever. I don't know.
I've been talking to some like 30 somethings, 40 somethings about this upcoming. And it's not only like since we've been talking about it, it's been like the last few years I've just noticed. And then, we're not raising six girls, but we have six girls, that we want to be encouraging and successful. And I talk a lot of like when I've had these conversations with them, they all make the same point. Like we learned it from someone. We watched our siblings, we watched our parents, we watched our friends. And the other thing about it is that this isn't just a teenage thing or an adult women thing. It starts when we're little and it never really goes away. It just takes different forms. You kind of know what's not appropriate, like maybe how you acted when you were a teenager and up to now as an adulthood. But then there's other forms of it that are just kind of toxic in our thoughts and just society.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I think that's like, it won't be our only discussion, but it'll be one of our discussions. And I think we'll try to help encourage other women to like reflect on if you're judging someone or if you're being judged, and also how you can empower the women around you to not judge. Because I really think that's part of it, is empowering each other just to be supportive.
Definitely.
Do you have like any thoughts about like, have you been like when you've been judged, how you dealt with it or things like that?
Yeah, so I want to mention really quick, and this is kind of has to do with the question you just asked me, is that I heard someone say, and I think it was more so for a marriage tip, but it's also a relationship tip, is like never hold someone hostage for something that they didn't say. So part of feeling judged is assuming that you're being judged. So if we can transform the way that we are thinking about ourselves, about how other people are looking at us, it really takes on a new it's the transformation of how we think, because it could very well be that you're not thinking one thing about how my hair looks like I need it colored, but I'm thinking it. And so I'm assuming that you're thinking it. And then all of a sudden you kind of have this edge. Well, I'm sure Jen thinks that I need my hair colored, but my appointment's not for another 2 weeks, And so, but like, I'm not like, how can I be mad at you for that? But there are people who that does happen to, like there's something about like assuming what someone else is thinking or saying about you, and having like a kind of being hurt when you haven't been hurt.
I think that is such an excellent point, because, the reality is most of us are just trying to live our own day and are not judging other people. And, but we like put that on ourselves, like, well, they're judging me because like I'm my hair, or because, for whatever reason, I left the house looking like this. People don't care. Most people understand that life is difficult, but I've never really thought about like that, but it's such a good point you make, that it's, we're putting other people's judgments on us and they don't even have them.
Right. And, like I actually said, I think it was like a marriage tip, because women, men and women think so differently. And so here we are thinking, I can't believe, my husband is sitting on the couch while I'm trying to fix dinner, but it would really go faster if he, helped me. And, what's the problem? Is he mad at me? Did I say something that, and it's like, you can go through a million different conversations in your head, and it's just not
productive. Yeah.
It's not productive, and it's not a fact.
Oh,
so,
right.
Yeah.
I really like, that's a really great thought, just to look at it that way. Let's see. And then we were kind of wondering, like if we see other people judging each other, how do we deal with that? Or when we, actually we are actually being judged, how do we deal with that? Yeah. I know my initial reaction, I think, like, going through the divorce, I feel like there was a few situations. I wasn't really judged for being divorced, but it was like the way I was reacting to it. And like, it was interesting. I was really hurt by my closest friends, because like, you figure like they know you. And the reality is they were probably hurt by me, because they had expectations of our friendship that I was falling down on. So it was kind of a two-way street. And I just, for myself, when I feel that way, I just kind of give myself time. Eventually everything goes away. For me, if I address something, it kind of drags it out, because I like get over everything eventually. How about yourself?
You know, I think so. I'm going to go back to another experience that I had, and I used to work in a school that was fifth, sixth, and seventh grade, and every day there was something new about a girl said this or a girl said that, and so that kind of is beside the point. But someone, I was in a situation once where there was like a young girl in a group of adult women, and like one of the women like commented how beautiful this little girl's earrings were. And so then I just thought, you just chose something to really uplift her in amongst this little group of, moms. And I thought that's really great. And then I took it a little bit further, and I had such a passion of these little girls feeling confident about themselves that I would compliment someone who came into the office that was wearing a zip-up sweatshirt that had probably been washed 100 times. But it could very well have been the nicest thing that she had in her closet. And then for her, like, to think, like, she walked away and thought, wow, she thought my sweatshirt was cute, and just to, yeah. So I think it's definitely that you have to consciously make the effort to think differently. And to like, how about a challenge, like challenge yourself 24 hours, think nothing but positive thoughts, and we are all amazed how many negative thoughts about ourselves or others that cross your mind. And yeah. I'm curious, like, why? Why do we have those negative thoughts all the time about ourselves? We're self-deprecating. We're trying to build ourselves up by cutting others down. I mean, it's an epidemic. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's just trying really hard to challenge yourself to think in positive ways. Like, okay, maybe I don't like your jeans, but like, they look good on you. Or I don't know, that's kind of a bad example. But
no, I don't think I think it's a good example. Yeah. Like, I think when you look at someone and you find the good, and there's always a good. Yeah. And even as people that aren't like your closest friends or people you might have an issue, find the good and like acknowledge it. And maybe maybe if we started acknowledging the positive in women, it would go a long way to stop the judging.
Yes.
I like your challenge, and maybe we should challenge our audience to do that, to try to go 24 hours. And maybe even to start with not thinking any negative thoughts about themselves.
Right.
I think that's really. So anyway, so this is just a brief highlight of what our podcast are going to be about. And Carrie and I decided that we are going to end each show with a fun question. And you guys are welcome to put your answers to our question below. Before they wanted to do that, before we did, Carrie, I'm curious how you do it all, because you have two businesses, or you have your work and your business and your family, and I'd like you to get into a little bit about your business too, and like why you're doing it and things like that.
So my full-time job that I mentioned earlier, Monday through Friday, normal business hours, and then I'm also building on the side. I'm almost 1 year old. My 1 year anniversary is coming up November 1st of selling and distributing Shaklee products. And a lot of people, don't know about the product, so it's really fun to educate people. About 1.5 years ago, I walked into my corporate job, and after 2 hours of being there, I was walking out because my job had been eliminated. So I look at that as I was given the gift of time. So I took that time and I did some things that I had not had time for. And one of them was, like, Mike and I had never been on a multivitamin. And Jackson, who we were talking about, was asking me, Mom, I want to get on protein shakes. I want to build up, he's an athlete, and I just didn't know where to turn. Like, you walk into the mall and you go to the store, and like, how do you pick out whatever it was? And I have a friend who has been selling Shaklee for over 15 years, and I trust her, and I see what it has done for her life and her family. And so I decided to call her and got on the products, and we did a reset right away. And like 6 months later, I thought, okay, so now I'm buying enough that I could actually make money on myself. So I decided to sign up. It has been so much fun. The Shaklee family is encouraging. They're uplifting. They want you to do well. They want you to succeed. They're just envision someone lifting you up. I feel like that is what my Shaklee family has done. And I'm in a blended family now. I was in a blended family growing up, my kids now are in blended families, so I feel like I have that to offer them, as well as building up that positive energy through supplements and cleaning products, and helping people live younger longer. That's like my latest, I know, that's like my latest tagline. And so it's getting really busy. I do a lot in the morning and at night and on the weekends for Shaklee, but it's really fun to be able to educate people and how they can feel better, because I think sometimes we just don't know which way to turn. And it's all about relationship and education and just giving the power of knowledge to the person. So I'm building that up, because eventually that's what I want to do full time.
You said a couple of things that I love. Of course, I love your idea about living. How did you say it?
Living younger, longer.
Yeah, living younger. I love that. Because that's really one of my main things about Fearless Gray. Is like being proactive now about your health and you know, your inside health and your physical health and you know how you live. So those are really important. And one of the other really big things about Fearless Gray, I feel, is community. You know, like I think sometimes even maybe getting toward judging discussions because people might be lonely or want more friends that know how to do it. And I like that you said that Shaklee is part of a community. I think that's so important. And so a side note, I think I've said your name wrong, and next time I call you the wrong name, say, I don't know, Jenny. And I will
got it. Okay, perfect.
So anyone who I might have said Carrie, and it's Kari. So if she calls me Jenny, you know I said her name wrong. So I apologize.
That's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay, so let's get to our fun question. We picked our question, so you go ahead with it.
Okay. Are we answering the same question?
Up to you.
Yes.
Okay.
I have 2 tattoos. You have none. If you were to get a tattoo today, what would it be?
Okay, let's see. I would either do, so one of my daughters has a tattoo, and it's like, it just looks like a bunch of lines, but the lines are like, God is greater than the highs and the lows. And it's actually my daughter who has diabetes, but I also like the saying of it, like, you know, God is there, whether highs in your life or the lows. And she got that tattoo because Nick Jonas, who also has diabetes, has it. So it's really just really light and not a big tattoo. Another thing I might do is get like a flamingo for like Fearless Gray.
That's awesome. Perfect.
Yeah. How about yourself? What would you get?
So I don't know if you can see it. One of them that I have is an I love you.
Oh, I love that.
So my two girls and I have that together on our left wrist, because that's what goes to your heart. And it's the sign language, I love you. And I still do, like when I drop them off at school, I would do the I love you sign as they looked like that last time back. And then I have a fish that's on my foot.
Oh.
So the next one that I would get probably would be like a butterfly or just something like that. And then I just had an idea while we were talking is maybe I would actually go on my right wrist and have it say living younger, longer. Because it would be a great conversation piece.
Yeah, it's a good reminder. I love that you have that I love you, because I do that too, like even like on the sideline when my son's at football, he looks up at me, I quick flash that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he always sees it, but it makes me feel good.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
I love
okay,
it.
well, we're going to wrap up. So Ari and I are going to try to do an interview here at least once a month. But like I said, our podcast will be over on Anchor and then on our podcast channel, and that'll be once a week. And it'll be discussions like this. And we'll encourage, you to engage by commenting and things like that. And if you have any ideas for shows, we would love to hear them. And
awesome.
So anyways, lock on, have a great day, and we'll see you guys all soon.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Fearless Gray podcast. Please make sure you Flox us. Follow, like, comment, share.